China. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. Interesting background.
And from there, we went to Hong Kong. But we have to stay in Hong Kong for about 2 years before we clearance and entered into Taiwan. And I was educated in Taiwan, and I got my college degree. And then from there, I came to the United States and got my degree and started working in the US. And I worked for 35 years. Then after that, I retired. Now I'm a member of AARP. Basically my background.
Well, the picture, as you know, you have seen the PowerPoint that we prepared together. The picture of you dressed in your red jacket is the best photo. I look at it and I think, what a lucky grandchildren you have, because this is the perfect grandfather to have. So again, thank you for joining us. And don't worry about the technical things. You are such a valued guest and your voice sounds fine. So let me go to the next slide, because it's the slide where we talked about the gentleman who's a very famous writer, travel writer, Paul Theroux. And he said, his quote was, "The travel impulse is mental and physical curiosity. It's a passion." And he can't understand people who don't want to travel. So why did you want to travel, Dr. Wu?
I want to travel. Put it simply, I want to have some fun. And I want to go to different places I've never been there, and I want to learn from this by visiting these places.
Yes. Now, you retired in 2008. What was the way you planned your trips? Did you and your wife discuss, or did you already have a bucket list of places?
Actually, I started my...
Uh-oh. I think the reason is we're having high winds here in the DC, Maryland area. So we'll see if he calls back. But I just love the fact that after working all those years, he had the luxury of retirement. Not all of us do. And he used refirement to go and travel. Trudy, did we have someone that had traveled? Did we ask our audience, our friends in the audience, if any of them have written about their actual travels? Perhaps we could ask.
We did not. We asked them where they'd been and where they'd like to go. But let's ask the question. If you'd like to respond in the chat box while we're waiting to get Dr. Wu back on the phone, have any of you written about your travels?
Hi, Lily. This is Thomas Wu again. Somehow we got interrupted.
No worries. I think it really is the wind. I experienced some myself, but we were just asking people if they themselves, like you, have written about their travels, and we're getting some wonderful responses. So if you could kindly continue then, because the phone cut off with when I was asking you, how did you plan your first trips upon retirement?
After retirement, we have for friends, and we talk about, oh, this is a nice place where we go, or so on and so forth. So everybody, when we travel, we like to be with a group of friends. So everybody think, oh, this is a nice place we go. So we all go together.
Oh, that's a great idea.
My personal planning is with a group of friends.
That's a great idea. Okay, include me next time.
Okay.
Well, what was so exciting for me when I met you virtually during the pandemic is when I found out that you had written a book. And on the slide now on the screen is the title of your book. It's called My Travel Notes. And we'll talk a little bit later about how you actually found your own publisher to publish it. But I did want to ask you, as a grandfather and father, why did you want to write? And then specifically, you could have written in Chinese. Why did you write in English? What's the background?
Oh, this is many reasons. Let me try to sort it out, try to answer your question. First of all, I started writing this, I got the habit of writing essay type of things because when I first came to the United States as a foreign student, and my professors, my so-called American friends, go out somewhere, have a trip. They normally write travel notes, send me some kind of Christmas greetings, and tell me that they're going here and there. So I said, this is the way they do things. So I want to copy. I want to do that.
Yes.
As far as Chinese, I tell you, Lily, actually is for my convenience because even though I speak perfect Chinese, I grew up in Taiwan. But being in this country for so many years, I'm not so. I forget some words. It's difficult for me to write. I tell you, even though my English is not good, but it's easier for me to write English. That's another reason. Of course, another reason you said is that if I write in English, my grandkids can read it. If they don't read it now, and later on, I figure they can read it.
That's wonderful. The concept of a legacy project is what really touched my heart. Apologies, everyone. I was typing and you could hear that, but I wanted to ask any of you if you've written about your travels because next year we're going to have another round of this type of lifelong learning through the Tuesday Explorer. So if you'd like to be a guest speaker, we're going to sign you up for next year. But Dr. Wu, when I asked him to come to be our guest today, I forgot to ask you, do you write on a computer? Do you write longhand? How did you actually write down your stories, please?
I write this story to say this. This is all new places that we like to go. Actually, we do not know that much about these places. So I have to read a lot and figure out. So, we go there. Where we go to play? Where we go? What restaurant we go? And so on and so forth. So a lot of research work. I normally check it down on yellow pad, and the facts, some interesting things. Then I'm a traditional guy. I write in yellow pad. I'm not good in computers, so I can't just write like people are so good in language, in computer. I have to write in yellow pad, make several connections, and make corrections, and change my writing a few times. And after I feel, oh, this is okay, that's not too bad, then I put in computer.
Wonderful. I'm going to make a joke. We definitely have a boomer crowd. Michelle just wrote something about stealing Dan. We're definitely all boomers together. So then let's go on and have you explain, because you really took care in choosing the photos for your beautiful book cover. Are there any highlights? I know that you did go back to your homeland of China. There's a picture of some beautiful ocean. Please tell us a little bit about why you chose those beautiful photos for the cover of your book.
Oh, for cover of my book, let me look at my book because the video is not here.
Yes. Well, you had the Great Wall. Okay. That's your homeland. You had the terracotta warriors, the stone figures. And I think that must be Machu Picchu, right? If anybody's actually gone up there, please put it in the chat because I really would love to go one day, but I just don't know about how many stairs. Does anybody know how many stairs to get up to actually the Machu Picchu? And then of course, Russia, I see Russia. So, oh,
Okay.
yes.
Actually, I cannot take credit for this cover of this my book. I think it's a wonderful cover, but it's done by the publisher. They came out with this design. I look at it and say, oh, that's good. That's fine. So that's where we have to cover. And then, as you said, these places people recognize. But let me briefly tell you that in the middle, start from the top, that's Moscow. And one clockwise, that's in Australia. 12 apostles. It's, a lot of Christians, they go there, they really enjoy the sea. And our common people, we do that too. And of course, next to that is Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is in Peru. Basically, you understand them. It's like Inca culture, and Inca trail, Inca stone. And I look at it, this is the first news to me as, oh, Inca, they are stone people. They're Inca stone people. Because they build a house, everything anchored with a stone, big stones, no basement, no digging, everything, that's that. Then next one is Great Wall. I don't know my the audience, but basically, all Chinese knows the Great Wall is a defensive wall. And that wall started more than 2,000 years ago, 2,200, 2,500 in that range. And defensive wall for what?
Mm-hmm.
Literally for territorial states, they fight each other, they build a wall. And after the country got united, and this person unite all the walls together and extended outside. That defensive wall is called Great Wall. And after that, what the defensive walls for at the time we call Xiongnu. That's 2,200 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
And after the Great Wall, they don't come because it's hard for them to attack. That's the Great Wall. And I just want to briefly mention that about 1,000 years later, that Xiongnu was so confined and pushed outside by the Chinese. They came back as Mongols. Mongols went all the way west. They passed the Kiev, Ukraine, went to Moscow. They burned the Moscow Crimean walls. They burned the wall, and they came back. They call the Khan, not the Sultan. They call themselves king. They call them Khan. They came back. They said this time we'll try to get in China, which they did. And this is the beginning of Yuan dynasty. Funny thing about this, Yuan dynasty, after they got in China, they got in actually Beijing. They called the big capital. The big capital. And it's talking about legacy. He left the legacy all in Russian area. They call the Golden Holy Empire. His children, his grandchildren, they managed that. And they came back, he became emperor of China. He repaired the wall. That's kind of funny to me, The wall was used to defend against them. Now they repair the wall. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes, everything's fine. Thank you.
Okay. And then what below that is Surikata army soldiers. And this emperor, the first emperor of China, he said he's such a great person. He is the beginning emperor. He wanted to be his son, be first emperor #1, his son be #2, and so on and so forth. And what about he died? He said, well, if he died, he would still be going underground, still be emperor there. That's when he said he has a huge amount of army in this terracotta form. And these are what the ceramic soldiers. And think about it, this is 2,200 years ago. They have this because he believes when people die, like himself, he go down and he still be an emperor there. And the last one is the falling water. I just briefly want to mention to you is that the architecture of falling water, architecture of Inca people, based on stones, big stones. And that's the brief introduction of my cover of my book.
Wonderful. Let me first acknowledge that Dr. Wu, maybe you might need to hold your iPhone still. We're hearing some, funny clicking sounds. So if you could kindly just hold the iPhone still,
Okay.
that would be great. Thank you. And then I myself, I only typed in one thing, so I will be careful that I don't type on my laptop. And I just wanted to acknowledge that we have a very engaged audience. They're sticking with us despite all the technology issues. So thank you all, first of all. And we also have Gen X in the house. We don't just have boomers. So this is wonderful. And many of the audience friends have put in there that they have traveled to some of the places that you have, and they put in their own backgrounds and everything. So I think what I'd like to ask real quick, Dr. Wu, is you have a background in science. You got your PhD in science. Do you ever go to these places and look at it from the scientist point of view, what we would call, climate changes or the ecology of a place? Does that ever interest you?
Yes, it does. And in my work, I'm organic chemist and working in the environmental issues. And I participate with a group of biologists, geologists, marine biologists, and also some biologists interested in carbon dioxide. So we have some interaction with different kinds of scientists. So yes, everything you mentioned is important issues, and
Yes.
you see my travel notes. I normally put a date on top of my notes, and this is 2024. If you go back to 2034, then look at the same place, then you see a lot of change.
Oh, that's very smart. I love that idea. The Falling Water, Frank Lloyd Wright, is a place I've always wanted to go to. I did not know the significance from what you had just said. And our audience is interested in the fact that you published this by yourself. The press is called Friesen Press. And because this is a lifelong learning platform, we will be offering these beautiful images and information about Dr. Wu that will be sent out to you. And yes, we are recording. So thank you all for bearing with us. Let me go to the next slide, Dr. Wu, which is a very dense table of contents. You literally wrote about all these different places, and you chose, wonderful places to go to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance the slide and ask you to just talk a little bit about your most recent trip and why you decided not to do international for a while. Why are you sticking close to home now, please?
Okay, to answer your question, let me start out this way. A lot of people in all this are all retirees. Retirees, the way I look at it, I'm a retiree. I look at it, well, I'm retired, what I do? You can have sports, you can have different hobby. And one of my hobbies is to travel. And then something happens, pandemic. It happens, oh boy, now we cannot travel no more. The first thing I thought of, oh, put my travel notes together, essays together, maybe we can get a book. And which we did. Then after that, it's still pandemic is still on. I said, man, what I do now? So I said, well, instead of going travel internationally, I travel to this wonderful land of the United States. To tell you the truth, all my life worked pretty hard. Life's not that easy. You have to struggle. You have to find a job, keep your job, get promotion, and get lots of. I find out, oh boy, I don't know much about the United States. I'm a citizen for so many years. How many years you been citizen? Many years. But how much I know? I tell you, I've never been that part of the United States. I don't know. So I decided, oh, this is the time I travel United States. So first thing I did near the end of the pandemic, I traveled to small towns and cities of Mississippi. And why travel there? I said, well, because I'm an old man. I don't drive that fast. I'm afraid driving, for example, I live in Washington, in Maryland. I don't feel comfortable driving the highway going to the airport. But to Mississippi, I can drive a single lane. You look at the cornfield, look at nobody's near you. So that's what I did.
That's a great.
That, and still says I still got time. And group of friends says, well, I heard this place, a wonderful place called the Outer Banks. And let's go over there. I said, okay, that's fine. Group plus, we went to Outer Banks.
I love this. I've already learned two very important things, which is have a sense of community. The fact that you travel with others who are interested, that's one big lesson. And the second one is there's so much that I've not explored in our own country, in our own nation. So do more domestic travel. If our audience is interested, please put in the chat. Number one, if you did something during the pandemic like Dr. Wu, he actually produced a book. This is incredible. And if anybody else has suggestions of where to go domestically, OBX, I think, is the wonderful sticker that I've seen about the Outer Banks. So even though you can't see the images that we chose, I'll show the pictures, but tell us about your wonderful trip to the Outer Banks in North Carolina, Dr. Wu.
Okay. Outer Banks, we drive from Maryland, we live in Potomac area. To Outer Banks, it's only 4 hours. And as soon as you pass the Virginia, traffic is not that bad. And we went to Outer Banks. First town we went is called, let me see them. It's a town called Prairie.
Yes, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Anyone here from North Carolina that can teach us how to pronounce Currituck?
Currituck. I said, wow, we go there. What's the Currituck? I don't know. We go there, and the reason we went there because we heard Currituck. There's a ferry goes to an island. You go to the islands for free. Oh, our friends said we go there for ride the free ferry. So that's we went stopping there. And we went there. The rangers are very nice. It's okay, you guys go there. What you guys want to do? I said we said we don't know. Take a look and have a dinner and come back. The rangers laughed at us. That was during winter time. So there's nothing there for you to see. and no restaurant for you to stay. I said, what? And so we went there anyway. They said, you went there, you turn around, right away, stay in line. So because ferry is not so often, if you stay there, make sure you can get back the next ferry, which we did. And then we come back to Curry Tag. And, we looked at small courthouses and look at this is very tiny jail. I said, well, this jail only hold for few people. Why jail is so small? Then we learned this is plantation period of time. And before Civil War, and we have big plantations of slaves, and that jail is to put the slaves, and we catch them. It was the slaves, we catch them, put in that jail. Then court would say punishment or put them back to their master.
Yes.
That's how. I find it interesting. I learned something about Civil War. I learned something about plantation and system relationship between black and white, so to speak. And from there, we went to next town.
Yes, I love the fact that the way you traveled on that trip was, what is that very famous saying? It's the journey, not the destination. So you just took things as they came. And what you just mentioned reminds me of the wonderful program that we had, which you also came to hear, and Amber can put the video recording in. We had a scholar who wrote about the Underground Railroad, and she's been unearthing what we would really call the unknown heroes. So if anybody missed that one, please go onto the chat and you'll see the video recording link. And then you have something which was the Elizabethan garden. I had no idea there's such a beautiful garden in North Carolina.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about that. The next stop after the current attack is in that Kitty Hawk in that area, and we said, where we go? So nobody knows. This is the garden. We go to that garden. Okay, we go to the garden. And it's the Elizabethan garden. We can't even pronounce the words. Why Elizabeth? How come Elizabethan? The word. That's kind of, new to me. And so we bought a ticket, we went in, and it turned out it's very important thing to learn. Elizabeth first.
Yes.
No relationship with one has passed. That's Queen of England, Ireland. That Elizabeth first was queen, and a few important things she did was send explorers to the New World. And one person, not really physically be there, in charge of this is let me see what is his name. Let me check his name.
Yeah,
it's Walter Raleigh.
Sir Walter Raleigh. Yes.
Walter Raleigh. Yeah, Walter Raleigh sent his people, 100 people in there, men and women in there. Establish a colony. They work hard. They do their field farm work, all that, and very nice. That was the first colony in the United States. The first colony in the United States before any others. People who came to the United States.
Beautiful. Well, it's so interesting because we have all these friends in our audience who are talking about their own projects and their own trips. I would love one day to do the Route 66, the old Route 66. So after going to the gardens, I know that you also went to Cape Hatteras and the lighthouses. Oh, that's a beautiful picture.
You like my picture on that one?
Yes.
It turned out that one was by accident. We went too far. We went to take another ferry to the I forgot there's an island way down there. And we came back, it was dark. We said, oh boy, we have to go to this lighthouse. So that's the time we went there. It's like that. Oh, so can we take a picture, still take a picture? But we managed to do that. It turned out to be, oh boy, that's the best picture I think I took.
Yes.
Because not in showing that it's nice to see, it's there for a function.
Yes.
And we use it. It's so wonderful. Yes.
Yeah. Well, if any of our audience wants to do what, remind themselves of one photo that they took that just by accident caught something amazing. So it's sometimes not the ones that we spend the most time on to try and frame and to get the best photo, but the surprise photo. I once took a bird that happened to fly across the tidal basin at just the right time. So I love that. So, oh, someone said they've actually virtually walked. Yes, the Route 66. Yeah, a lot of the landmarks. So if anyone else has bucket list trips, write them down. Maybe we should all travel together. Now, the road.
That'd be wonderful. That'd be nice. Yes.
Yeah, well, I'd love to go on something with ecology, because with your background in the sciences, you could teach us about the plants and the flora and fauna. You also have something which is another lighthouse, but the Roanoke Marshes, another part of North Carolina.
That's basically a little bit north. And the special about that lighthouse is built on the marshland, which you have to take a pier to go to that lighthouse.
Yes.
And the interesting thing that is that lighthouse very close to the historical site where Walter Raleigh landed. His people landed in there.
Yes. I remember other names from the Elizabethan period, Francis Drake, Sir Walter Raleigh. I did not know that he had come to North Carolina. So now we're getting to the Wright brothers. Oh my goodness. That must have been absolutely fascinating.
Let me answer your question before I get in with Wright brothers. Is that I'm not sure that in my knowledge that he actually came. But he sent his people because he has we have hedge fund, we have money. People send his pioneers, his lieutenants,
yes,
to different places.
Yes.
Okay, that's first.
Yes, I should clarify. Yeah, he may not have landed, but the point is that the Queen Elizabeth I funded a lot of these explorations. Francis Drake, Sir Walter Raleigh. Yes, but the fact that they have Walter Raleigh gardens and things, it's really interesting. So by the time you went to the Outer Banks, the true Wright brothers history, what struck you about what you saw there?
I tell you, Lily, I tell my people, my audience, boy, this is the I never think that my little trip came out with just so many amazing things, unbelievable. And Wright brothers, one of it. When you go there, you learn their stories. These are the people, several of their family, the brothers. They really, I understand, not go to college because they had to make money or something. They don't have money. They run a bicycle shop. They did well, but they want to go to study, learn more science, but they couldn't. But anyway, they own a bicycle shop, but they doing well. They want to find something to do. Say, oh boy, the bicycle, I want to dream. I don't know. He probably not the only one. Says I want to fly. I want to go up to the sky like birds. A lot of the kids probably want to do that. Dear brothers, just like that. How do we not? How do we do this? Oh, people with much higher degrees say this and that, and they don't know. They listen to the people. They figure out what it is. They say, well, to fly, you have to be able to get up. Your airplane got to get up. Right now, these days, we have runways. Runway airplane go through high speed and went up. And their time, you look their model, there's no wrong way. There's no wheels. People carry their airplane. It was a flying machine. Okay, carry a flying machine, and they have to choose Kitty Hawk area, because that area has big winds all the time.
Yes.
The winds, they need that wind to give them that lift. Okay, they let go, wind blows, and they need that lift.
Yes.
Okay, that's why they pick up that area.
Now,
And,
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, you have a wonderful photo of yourself standing there on the beach with your hand raised. Yeah.
Thank you. That's because in order to fly, they figure out they need to control. How to control something out there. And they needed to know this technique of kite flying and gliders flying, how to maneuver these machines up in the air. They have to do a lot of work studying it and practice it all in Kitty Hawk. They did that.
Yeah.
Finally, they got this model. They say, oh, the reason we cannot get fly is because we don't have the wing like the bird has. Oh, this is how the bird wing does. They figure out. They say wind has to move. So they put some strings. They get up there, just one of them. Okay, one bird at a time. Get up there. They not only fly, he has to push wind here, there, try to balance, try to make the flying machine stay in the air. A lot of work. Eventually, they made it. They made it and then commercialized. Boy, that's a big thing. The first airplane in the world. And that little place, the first airport in the world.
Yes. I love it. I just, sorry to interrupt you. I was just saying, I love the sense of wonder that you bring to your travels. It's just everything, is you're learning new things. And that's what this whole series is about, is lifelong learning. Among the different photos that you sent over, I had to choose the one with you on the camel, because I said there must be a funny story. Where was the camel photo taken, and why were you on a camel, Dr. Wu?
Lily, I think you like that photo, right? Yes. You like it very much, so right? And what it is, it's in Turkey.
Oh.
It's in Turkey. And that particular place, I call the black mushroom. You see that mushroom? Like the big, solid, you can eat it, a big solid mushroom.
Yes.
And first of all, I rode on the camel. That's that lady, that lady, you take a look at that lady.
Yes.
And it's entrepreneur in Turkey. She has this camel. Every day brings her camel is sitting there. Customer want to ride on it. The camel stands up. You take pictures. You pay the money. That's it. It's very simple, but very impressive. It's a very different scenery.
Yeah, that is a huge camel. That is indeed. Yes. Well, I wanted to end with your beautiful photo of the Statue of Liberty. You have such a lovely thought about taking that photo in the harbor of New York.
Yes. Really, I'm the first generation of Chinese immigrant. And when I was young, we heard, oh boy, United States. Well, I was in Taiwan, grew up in Taiwan. And I was, some message we admire the United States, and the medicine is, oh, in the United States, no problem. Everybody's rich. There's gold everywhere. So that's immigrants. We go to the United States. And of course, that the Statue of Liberty is a symbol for immigrants. Everybody say we want to come to the United States for better life for ourselves. So that's why I took that picture.
Thank you. That's the perfect way to end this, which is number one, thank you all for staying with us despite the technical difficulties. These past 2 months, we have wanted to feature the fascinating things that people have learned about themselves and learned about our nation and learned about retirement, or what I call refirement, because it is the ability to keep learning. And I think, Dr. Wu's, your life example is wonderful. Travel for the joy of it, to learn new things, to meet new people. And we're so grateful. Because many people would like to know how to get the book, you had been able to find a press and they were able to print the book for you. And then, as I had said before, we will send everyone the recording and they will get a copy of this PowerPoint so they can note the press. But what I'd like to end with, Dr. Wu, is what is the lesson from your life travels you'd like to leave for your children and grandchildren? Because that was the whole point of inviting you as an honored guest, is you have a legacy and you wrote about your travels for your descendants. Are there any life lessons from your travels, sir?
How to put it? As I said, I'm Chinese American and travel all over the world. And my feeling is I'm kind of interested in history and the struggles, achievement for different communities in the world. And by understanding people with different background, we can have a feeling that hopefully this would contribute to peace, not any war. And if I can have any little bit of influence in that, I am more than satisfied.
Oh, that's beautiful. You've been such an honored guest to be the last one of the ones that I have produced. I want to thank again AARP Virginia for the opportunity to host a series for January and February. I have learned so much. I hope the audience who have stuck with us not only today, but through multiple events will come back. There's 2 more months, March and April, and it's really a wonderful lifelong learning series. And so thank you to Amber. Thank you to Subasati, her volunteer partner who came up with this. And most of all, thank you to all our honored guests, because they have shown us how it's possible to have purpose and meaning in refirement, not retirement. And let me turn it back with thanks to Trudy, who has been my partner doing all the tech. Couldn't have done it without you, Trudy, and you truly are the embodiment of AARP's motto, to serve, not to be served, as a volunteer. Thank you for everything, Trudy.
You're very welcome, Lily, and thank you for your contribution to our Tuesday Explorer program. We could not have gotten this far through the year without you and your assistance, and I can't think of a better partner to dance with as we danced through our technical challenges today. So thank you, Lily. Thank you so much, Dr. Wu, for a very amazing tour through your travel legacy. There's more to see than can ever be seen. So thank you so much for joining us. Our Tuesday Explorer program will continue next week. We invite you to join us. Amber has put in the chat a link to the next 2 Tuesday Explorer programs. So hopefully we will see you here next week, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, Tuesday, 3 o'clock Eastern time. And thank you so much for joining us. The link is in the chat box. We have been delighted to bring these programs to you. We go through April with Tuesday Explorer, and there's lots more to explore through aarp.org/Virginia events, both virtual and in person. So join us at one of them. And Lily Lou, I have driven from Chicago to Santa Monica on the bits and pieces of what's left on Route 66. Thank you all for joining us. Lily, thank you for everything. Dr. Wu, thank you. We'll see you next week.